Hello and welcome to another Jet vlog. This is, I guess, part two of my discussion of dating. I don't really think, although you can't really refer to this as dating, I was going to cover gay and lesbian jets and married jets. Two categories I didn't really touch on in the last vlog. So again, I'm straight and I'm single, so I don't really have first-hand knowledge of either of these subjects. All I can do is tell you what I've witnessed with friends that have come over the years and been jets in these categories. So first, let's talk about married jets. The biggest thing I think here is you're going to be here for a year, you're going to be busy, you're going to have your job, etc. You're going to make a decent wage, could definitely support two people. If your spouse is going to come and live with you, what are they going to do for a year? Are they going to try and get a job here once they get here? Are they going to work on their painting or write a novel or I don't know what? Are they going to take care of a child if you have a child as well or children? These are things to think about. For instance, when I first came, I met a jet named Jody, fantastic woman from Canada, and she was out on a tiny island off the coast of Shimane in the Oki Islands. And her husband, Matt, came out to join her after about a month. And, you know, Oki is incredibly isolated. It takes a 2-hour ferry ride to get back to the mainland. So he had, like, literally, there's nothing to do out there. And he ended up, after about 6 months, joining the local forestry service, like as a temporary worker, and helping the guys go around and like cut down trees and etc. etc. Because, you know, he got bored. There's only so much, you know, fishing or, you know, whatever he was doing out there to keep himself busy. You know, you can only play PlayStation for so long or watch boring Japanese television when you only get 5 channels out here in the Inaka. I had another friend, Chris, who came straight out of college, and his fiancée Susie wanted to come out, but they hadn't gotten married in America before they came, and they tried to do all the paperwork and get married in Japan, and it was a big hassle. They had to go a lot of times all the way to Hiroshima, which is a, you know, an overnight stay or a long train or bus ride to take care of paperwork, etc. Basically, the JET program, if you're going to cohabitate with another human, they want you to be married. Now, of course, you know, once you're here for a little while, if you want to have a significant other come and stay with you, there's really, they don't keep tabs on you in that way. There's nothing they can really do. Some jets do that. They keep it on the very much on the down low, I guess, if you want to say. I had a jet friend here who met a Japanese woman about 6 months into his first year. And she moved from where she lived in Japan and came and lived with him. And they didn't tell the BOE for a long time, but eventually they found out. And she got a job here locally, and then they lived together, and it was all fine. It's up to you what you choose to tell them. If you're married, you should tell them, though, because they'll generally try to give you larger accommodations because they know there's 2 of you, etc. But just be aware that, you know, other than teaching English, I don't know what else your spouse could do as a job. Also be aware if you're a man and you bring your wife, there's a lot of kind of stereotypical like things that she'll run into. Oh, you know, do you cook for your husband every night? Do you prepare his lunch? Oh, shouldn't you be home doing his laundry? You know, these kind of things are very much still around in Japan. I don't know what else to tell you. If you have specific questions about being married, I'll do my best to help you. I've known many couples here. Many couples meet here and get married, both you know, foreigners to a Japanese person. It's almost always a foreign guy to a Japanese woman. I've only ever once known a foreign jet female that's married a Japanese man. And if you have any other specific questions about being married, I'll do my best to help you. I don't know anything else beyond that to tell you. Let's see. Being gay. If you're gay and you come, this has its own unique situation. I've had some good friends who were gay and here in very rural Shimane, and all of them chose not to share that information with their schools. I think mainly because if you decide, the very first day you're there, the question you're going to get, do you have a girlfriend? Say you're a gay guy. If you choose to just say no, and you're not lying, you can just leave it at that and go on. If you choose to add the information, no, I don't have a girlfriend, but I do have a boyfriend, then I think what's going to happen is your whole time as a jet is going to be about that one thing. It's going to be about you being gay, and everything else is going to take a back seat to that one fact. Japan's attitude toward homosexuality is very strange. It's not talked about a lot, and yet the media is filled with images of people like Razor Ramon, Hard Gay. If you know who this is, just YouTube the name Hard Gay. Very effeminate men, just litter the pop culture landscape here. And cross-dressers are popular comedians, etc., etc. And yet nobody is quote-unquote out and gay. So it's very strange. I had a friend here who worked for Nova, one of the big language chains, and he stayed a year in Izumo and then moved to Osaka because there are no gay bars, there are no anything here in Shimane. And he just wanted to be somewhere where he could at least, meet other gay people openly. And that's going to be up to you, what you choose to tell them. It's tricky. And what you should do, I think, is when you go to Tokyo orientation, there'll probably be a support group, an A-Jet support group for gay and lesbian jets. And talk to some of the people there that have been here a year or more and know more about it than I do, and can give you some good sound advice on what to do and how to handle that situation. I think with adults, you could tell some adults and they would be accepting, etc. But your students, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how they would handle it. So, something to think about. Okay. So, if you're married or you're gay, you can be a jet. Now, obviously, the one other thing I didn't talk about with married jets is if you're both a jet. There's a couple right now in Izumo, Megan and Tyler, and they're both jets. So that works well too. But instead of each being given an apartment, they're just given the one apartment, and etc., etc. I also had a friend here named Trevor who was a jet for 3 years, and his wife, every year he was here, she applied to jet from Japan, and finally his final year got accepted. So then they stayed another year, and he got a job with a company called Interact. Interact is a big company now that supplies supplies ALTs, assistant language teachers, to schools. That's kind of cheaper than jet. You don't make as much money, etc. But it's an alternative if you're interested. Just look up on the web, Interact. All right, that's it for this blog. I think I've covered just about everything. I've got a tour of my apartment coming up. I just filmed that today. I'll probably put that up later this week, and more soon. As always, thanks for watching. Email with questions, leave a comment, rate. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.